Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a quick video review, a movie review. This time I'm going to be talking about 47 Meters Down, which is directed by Johannes Roberts and stars Mandy Moore and Claire Holt. Just went and seen this one in theaters today with my girlfriend. Before we get into actually getting deeper into my actual thoughts on the movie, a little background. This movie was initially meant to be a straight-to-DVD film release, as well as a video on demand and stuff like that back in 2016. But then a studio called Entertainment Studios picked up the rights to it, or something along those lines, and ended up putting it for a theatrical release in June of 2017. Which would seem like kind of a risky decision, but The Shallows with Blake Lively was, fairly successful. I still haven't seen that one. I've been kind of curious too, though. But I've seen other shark movies, like the Jaws stuff, and I even weirdly enjoy Deep Blue Sea with Samuel L. Jackson and Thomas Jane, mainly because I'm a big Thomas Jane fan, but. Still, it's kind of like a risk, to release an independent movie in theaters all of a sudden when it's not really, made to, be a worldwide release type of thing. But it actually seems like it's, paying off, or at least, not failing, because the budget was only around $5 million, which is pretty small, for a movie these days. And it was originally projected to only make its budget back at best, within the, however many theaters it was, it's been distributed in. But it actually made apparently $4.5 million already on its opening day. So that's pretty good for an independent movie. So I'm glad it's actually doing well. And the fact that I'm glad might tell you how I feel about the movie. I am sort of mixed on it, but overall I actually liked it. Definitely isn't perfect. We'll talk about Jaws in a few minutes, I guess. But the main reason I wanted to watch it was for Claire Holt. I know a lot of people always talk about Mandy Moore being in this, but the main reason I wanted to check it out is for Claire Holt, because I really like her work on the CW's The Vampire Diaries and the originals currently. I have a shirt of her brother on those shows, Klaus Mikaelson, amazing character. And she does a great job as Rebecca Mikaelson on those shows. Except in those she has her accent, where in this she has this a regular, American, accent. So it's a little bit different. It threw me off at first. But I was just wanting to support her and her other work that she does. Now, the basic premise of the movie is one of the little things I guess I have an issue with. Mandy Moore's character, Lisa, she just went through a bad breakup with her boyfriend, I guess. Because apparently he wanted more out of life, and he found her, boring, apparently. So she's going out on this party in Mexico with her, sister, Kate, played by Claire Holt. And she basically just wants to show her boyfriend that she can be fun. So this is why she feels, daring and brave to go into this, scuba dive, or this, cage dive, whatever you want to call it, with these, sketchy guys. So yeah, that's what drove them to make that decision. And it's just, really off, immediately, because these guys are just sort of, very flirty with them, Okay, at a party, it's one thing, it seems okay, they seem like alright guys, but then you get on the boat, they hardly know them, they start out there however far with them. you see the hook is rusty, and the cage is kind of unstable with the winch and everything like that. Did I say winch? I don't know, it's almost 2 a.m. But, so yeah, there's just a lot of red flags going off about this immediately. So if they're going to do something like this, they should at least looked up an actual company or something that does it professionally. So I was saying, hey guys, you should do this, check it out, I don't know. And then that brings me to one of the other issues with the movie, actually, Mandy Moore's character. She's not a bad actress necessarily, even though I think she kind of oversells a little bit in this, or at least she feels a little bit over the top in certain instances. But it's not really her acting so much that I have a problem with as it is the writing for a character. She's kind of like a pretty weak protagonist, honestly. She's pretty helpless in the movie. The whole time it's Kate, Claire Holt's character, who actually has some form of knowledge of scuba diving. Kate's the one typically going out and trying to either get the oxygen tanks or, swim out high enough in order to, be able to contact the guys on the boat. Of course, after they drop 47 meters down. Meanwhile, Mandy Moore's character, Lisa, she's just, panicking and, that's pretty much all she does in the movie. And I'd be freaking out too, but her being the lead just kind of she felt a little bit useless, honestly. And just the fact that she's doing all this to show a guy that she's, cool, or, show him what he's missing, it just felt very, very teen-like in a way, and sort of stereotypical, I guess. Which made me not really care about her character at all. And Claire Holt's character Kate, on the other hand, I thought was a little bit better. I thought she was a little bit easier to get behind, and it may have helped that I liked Claire Holt a lot already going into it, but I think Claire Holt did a better job acting wise, and I think her character was easier to like. And you get a decent scene between them when they're slowly running out of oxygen, and Lisa sort of has this resentment for Kate because Kate's gone out and done all these things, and she's just wanted to be better than her. So apparently, Lisa, Mandy Moore, has also wanted it to be a competition since they were kids. So, are you supposed to be rooting for Mandy Moore here, or I don't know? I get there's fans of hers for her character. I just can't really see anyone getting that behind, really. So yeah, the premise is a little bit off. Mandy Moore's character's but I did like Claire Holt. Again, part of it is probably because I like her so much on the originals. It's not like amazing acting or anything, but she did a fine job. And they did film all this underwater, and visually it does look pretty good. It is, of course, an independent film, only $5 million. But, the sharks look fine as well. They're all obviously CG, but I don't think they look terrible at all. They're definitely passable, or even, good enough. They're fine. Definitely a lot better than like a sci-fi movie or something, at least. So there's that. My favorite part of the movie, though, besides Claire Holt, was probably the fact that there was actually some tension in this, some suspense that the director and the rest of the crew was trying to create. This easily could have just been a jump scare fest, and it kind of was, with the way the sharks show up and everything. And some of those moments are kind of predictable when they do come up, but there are other ways where they shoot it like slightly more creatively, and it's a little bit more dynamic with how they pop onto the screen or something. But the best moments as far as that goes are definitely when you have like either Holt or Moore's character, just like swimming around in the ocean, in the open water and on the ocean floor, and you just don't see where the sharks are. They're out there, but you don't see anything coming. They're just scrambling and really, really desperate. And I think the movie actually conveyed that in a decent way. I actually felt suspense, and I'll admit my body even tensed up a little bit, so I can't deny it, it was somewhat effective with that. And yeah, again, maybe some of that is actually born out of me just liking Claire Holt, so I was worried about her. That's probably true too, but I do appreciate the effort that they actually try to create suspense. And it does succeed in some instances, so it's not bad on that end either, really. Now, as far as the ending goes, it is definitely a little bit polarizing. Claire Holt's character Kate, she ends up going for the oxygen tanks, so they drop down. Coast Guard's less than an hour away, so they're scrambling to find these solutions. As their oxygen's running out, they manage to drop down oxygen tanks to them. The guy that goes down there to hook up the cable again gets killed. But Claire Holt goes out to get the extra oxygen tanks, and then she gets picked off by a shark, unfortunately. And yeah, I'll admit that that hurt me a little bit. But again, I have to remember that's not Rebecca. Rebecca either would have, killed that fucking shark, or, Klaus would have showed up and, tore its head off over that, but, so, Kate is, killed, or, supposedly dragged off. Mandy Moore, she finally manages to pull herself together and try to take some inspiration from her sister, and she ends up hearing Kate over, the radio or the walkie-talkie, or whatever it is. I forget the communicator thing. And then she manages to find an injured Kate. She's bleeding out, though, so the sharks are more aware of them now. There's more of them around. Again, one of those pretty cool shots where they're swimming sort of in the open water up a little bit, because they need to get Kate to the surface, because she's bleeding out, and, it's her oxygen's depleting a little bit quicker. Is when they light the flare and they see the sharks just swimming over them. It's a pretty cool looking shot, I'll admit. And of course they're running out of flares and such to ward off the sharks. But then despite Lisa almost getting dragged off, she gets bitten in the leg. And there are some instances where you feel like the sharks would have gotten them quicker than they did, but it is what it is. And I'll say this: at least the characters' decisions weren't completely stupid throughout the movie. Like I said, I feel like Claire Holt's character had a decent head on her shoulders on how to deal with this. So there's that anyway. It's not as cliche stupid as some horror thriller type movies are. But anyway, they both get to the surface. They get on the boat, and then you find out that Lisa's actually hallucinating. It's the air bubbles going in her head, and she's trying to see things, so she imagines that happy ending. So Kate's still out there, likely dead, devoured, I guess, unfortunately. And then Lisa's just laughing to herself, still hallucinating that she's on the boat again with Claire Holt's character. And she does get found by the Coast Guard, though, but it's kind of a bleak ending, and she likely has some brain damage, and Claire Holt's still dead, so it definitely is kind of a polarizing ending. I know a lot of people won't like it just because it's kind of a sad, sort of depressing ending, really. But I get it. It was semi-realistic, I guess, because it was unlikely that Kate could have really gotten away, I guess. But I still wanted Rebecca, Claire Holt survive. But it was a semi-realistic ending. But I can see why some people would probably be upset by it. But I didn't love it just because I wanted Claire Holt to survive. But I got it, I guess. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this one. I know it's getting a little bit trashed right now. Chris Stefan gave it a D+, but I certainly don't think it's that bad at all. And then again, I love Stuckman, by the way, but sometimes his reviews I don't agree with, and everyone has their opinions. But I'm just saying he gave Kong Skull Island a C-, so I don't always get on board with him either. But I definitely don't think it's a bad movie. People are talking about Jaws against it. I haven't seen Jaws in years, honestly. It's definitely better than the Jaws sequels at the very least. It feels a bit more well made than what you would think it actually. It being an independent movie, it actually feels more well made than what you'd think. And in ways, Jaws is still a good movie, for its time, but it does come off a bit cheesy and a little bit cheaper nowadays. With certain things about it. I don't want to get into a war over that, but I don't think you have to compare it either. I thought it was actually a fine film, and if I had to rate 47 Meters Down, I'd rate it within the range of about a C+ or a B-. I had a decent time with it. Like I said, I can't deny I felt some tenseness, I felt some suspense, and I liked Claire Holt. Mandy Moore was okay. I just found her character a little bit frustrating and useless. But she didn't do terrible, I guess. And the sharks looked fine, and the ending, I guess, was a little bit more realistic and different than I thought it could have been, even though I was still kind of upset about Claire Holt, but it is what it is with that. So yeah, check this one out, I guess, if you guys haven't. I'm definitely glad I've seen this over The Mummy and stuff like that. Wouldn't mind seeing Captain Underpants, though. But yeah, catch you guys next time. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and peace.